Hello everyone and welcome back to not a scrolls game. This video is gonna be more about me just discussing or giving my thoughts and opinions on what the bloody hell is going on right now, because it's getting to a point where, I think most of us who have been dedicated to this game for quite a long time are close to giving up, and I don't want that to happen. I'm sure you don't want that to happen. So, goodness knows what I'm going to say, because I haven't really thought this through. I just felt inspired. Let me just reply to Cantor. Not right now. Oh, is that even working? There you go. Not right now. Ranting. So yeah, we'll just see where this goes. Hopefully I'm going to cover all the points which I can think of. So yeah, what to talk about? Let's... yes, thanks. This is where all the build has been going on. Let's first of all talk about my channel and videos and stuff. I think that's an easy place to start. Reason why I haven't been uploading content is for a few reasons. First of all, you should know I'm now working full time at a bank, building society, which, get up at 6:30 in the morning, get back at 6:30 at night, takes up a lot of time. So that doesn't really leave me a lot of time to do much recording. If I want to, just have some time to myself. Also, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I'm now playing cricket, so that's half a week. So yeah, not a lot of time to spend now on this. Sadly, yeah. And also that combined with the fact that I've got pretty crap internet, just doesn't leave much leeway. And because my computer's not amazing, I have to render and upload during the night. So if I forget, which I do 90% of the time, it delays things. So if I record a video, it will take 2 to 3 days if I remember to get it uploaded, unless I really make the effort to get it to work. So yeah, that's that reason. Also, since what is it, January, I just really haven't had the motivation. I had some personal stuff going on in my life, and it didn't work out, which kind of, put me into a bit of a depression, which I still am in. Well, not sort of depression, just, not happy. Since moving up here, I left all my friends at uni, so I don't really get to see them very often. I mean, I went to see my best friend Dan, about a month ago now, a few weeks ago, and that was nice to see him, but that's the first time I've seen him in about a year and a half, so yeah, just with being up here with work and stuff, you don't have much. There's not much of a social atmosphere around here, especially people my age, and the sort of person I am, the sort of gaming person. There's not much that sort of thing around here. It's more like just outdoor stuff. So there's not much of a chance to do that, which is why I was really upset about that thing going on in January, because at last I'd made a friend, and now she's hardly talking to me, it would appear. So yeah, you can understand why I'm upset. I'm getting emotional talking about it. Get a grip, man. Get a grip. This is not British. How dare you? So yeah, that's all that. And also just, playing Scrolls, I've made friends for it, and most of them are now left. And I haven't spoken to them for a while either. So, it's just people distancing themselves, and not because of me, so to speak, it's just because of the game. We don't have that relation anymore. So you just lose motivation through that naturally to do these sort of things. And that combined with the state that the game seems to be, and the general opinion of people, if you go through the comments on Reddit, and not so much Scrolls Guide, because people have actually, got a grip themselves on there. I like to think so, at least. Just sends you on a downward trend, which you don't want to go on. So I'm trying to be happy, but it's hard. And I'm meant to be the happy person, especially in my family. I'm always the person who's, jolly, like, oh, everything's fine, yeah, whatever. When in truth, it's not, but you've got to put on a face, I guess. So yeah, that's that reason. Yeah. As for the game itself, um, I'm just struggling to see a light at the end of a tunnel right now. I hope there is. You know, stuck 2.5 years of my life into this. It'd be nice if there was, a happy ending, but I'm not seeing it just for the fact that the game has been released. I mean, I started playing on my dad's birthday, which is in October. And that was during my third year at uni, so 2.5 years ago. Yeah. I remember going down to W.H. Smith's, which is a sort of local newsagent sort of chain. I walked for 20 minutes to get there because it's quite a distance. I walked, got some exercise. Ready to do that now. Got up extremely early. Waited outside. Bought a magazine. It was it PC Gamer? Can't really remember now. Some UK, I don't know. Gaming PC UK. I don't know. One of those sort of things. And they gave out the free codes in there. Got it. Immediately became addicted. Played the hell out of it. Started up a YouTube channel, Investors History, and yeah, up till about, what was it, August, September time last year, that's all I would play. And I'd dedicate quite a bit of my time to it, socialising with people on here, making the videos, playing the game for fun and enjoyment and trying to do well. And I did do well. I was number one for quite a long time, won a few tournaments, and, everything was going great. And then it was around the time that all the, what was it? What are they called? I can't remember now. There you go. Remember, bloody obvious. The community managers were introduced. Now, I did go for that job. I went down to the interviews, and I was in like the final 4 or something like that, shortlist. But I withdrew from the process because of me getting my new job. I just didn't think I'd have enough time. One of the interview questions was something along the lines of, if we, how flexible are you with your hours? If we wanted to hold a tournament on Thursday, would you be able to do that? And I had to be honest and say, if I get this job, no, I can't. I mean, I'll be working. And so I got offered the job, and because I knew I wouldn't be able to dedicate as much time as I would think wouldn't be necessary, and they would want from the job description, I withdrew, unfortunately, and that was a big blow for me because I really wanted to do that. I mean, it's not necessarily going to get the job. I don't necessarily think I would do a better job than Atmaz or Gareth are doing right now, but when you've been doing this sort of thing for 2 years up to that point, it's been building up to this moment of finally officially being something in the game. It can hurt you hard, and motivation just drops like that. Which is why I'm disappointed now to see that, one of the job's description was, having to go to events. There have been no events held for Scrolls. Community manager hasn't gone to go to anything. There have been no Mojang tournaments. So the main reason why I dropped is that I wouldn't have enough time to do these sort of things, seems irrelevant now. So maybe I could have continued and, I could have got the job. And that angers me, understandably, I hope. To think that maybe I could have done it, and maybe now I would be more involved in the game still. So that's eating away just that fact. Yeah, I mean, I think Atmaz and Gareth are doing fine. We're just not seeing anything apart from posts, and the communication that they're doing is is what we needed. But now we're getting pretty much zero communication from the actual Mojang guys. Now, before the CMs were introduced, we used to chat on IRC quite a lot. I used to talk to Mons and Colonizer, daily, pretty much. Just how are you doing? Yeah, I'm doing fine. Yeah. I've hardly spoken to either since. I'd used to have all the inside knowledge. I used to know what's coming up. I'd I'd feel involved. I mean, it's not necessarily my right to be involved in stuff, but I was up to that point. And, that kept me interested. I felt like I was important, that I was a part of the infrastructure of the game. Now, I wasn't officially, but, I thought I was contributing something. And to go from being the guy who was asked stuff to nothing now, really, it hurts. I mean, we're seeing like I made the pre-constructed decks for Rebellion, and now that's a community event, which, it's fine, but it's just another thing that I'm not doing, which distances me more from, my role previous to everything, and that just distances me more from the game and gives me less motivation to carry on. I mean, I've gone from essentially somebody, a man of importance, if you like, to just your regular dude. Now, that sounds pretty selfish to me. It probably is, but it's just, not how I wanted things to go, and I've got to try and accept that. It's not, my right, I think, but it's just one of the main reasons why, I'm losing motivation to do this sort of thing. So yeah, that covers that side of things. So, it'd be nice if Mojang did held tournaments. I mean, I came up with a plan for, how Magic the Gathering has like a Pro Tour and a points-based system, so you have like a Player of the Year, lots of Grand Prix side events. I came up with plans and like a point structure for that sort of thing, and that's the sort of thing that I think the CM and Mojang should, have in place. We want this game to go somewhere, be like a sort of competitive scene. That's, even if it is mildly competitive, just a few tournaments, here and there, then basic tournaments get points anyway. That would be fine, but I'm not seeing anything. So, disappointment number one. Disappointment number two is the content so far of Set 7. Hopefully it should load up here. If this wants to work, there we go. As I said in previous videos, I mean, I'm assuming I have, because I have done a few videos and just deleted them, because I couldn't be bothered. Most of the set so far is filler. I know it's only half a set, but when you see spoilers being revealed, and what was the last one? It was a lingering spell that gives +1 attack to soldiers. I mean, everything in this set seems to give +1 attack. Plus attack is boring. It works on mangonels, by the way, which is insane. But yeah, plus attack. That's boring. It's just all boring. There's nothing like. There's no new trait yet. That hasn't been revealed. Nothing that says, "Oh, that's amazing design, hooray!" There's nothing good. So I hope the rest of the set is, nice, but there's just nothing much on here. I mean, the fact that this, I mean, sorry for whoever created it, but the fact that this won the design competition, I mean, why would we want this? Why would we want this to be a scroll? I mean, we get 60 scrolls practically a year, and the fact that this is one of them is an insult, really. It's just really irritating. We cling on to this new set which comes out once in a blue moon, which seems to take longer and longer every single time, it's been announced. Just for something like this to be one of them, it's, annoying. On the subject of spoilers, I'm a test server actually. I've been thinking about this, and I just think, I know Mojang don't want to do this, but I think the test server should just be blocked off for everyone, apart from a select few number of chosen people to do the testing. In Magic, they have in-house testers, in R&D, which I can't remember what it stands for now. Something in development. What is it? I don't know. But they test for scrolls. They test for cards. They balance them. They've got a larger team. Scrolls doesn't. That's not an excuse. Yeah. So it just make more excitement if we're getting like a spoiler a week. it has to be a spoiler a day building up to the release. You know, the 60-day period. Scroll, 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 scroll. And it's going to be released in different places. I mean, I got a few spoilers from my YouTube video, which was nice. It's just taking so long. You know, people just give up caring. It needs to be staggered release of spoilers for people to keep up the hype for people, to keep them interested. And we're going to be around these scrolls now for like, I don't know, months now probably, and you just give up caring because you think, oh, all right, it's been released now, hooray, we can play it, and you can just pop on the test server now and play them. So what's the point? You just don't care. So I would close off the test server, use it for testing the scrolls instead of bugs. They picked up along the way, I guess, but yeah, it just needs to happen like that for actual excitement to happen. And also, on sort of plan to how the game is working, I think the game to actually be a normal card game, it needs to go free to play. I mean, I've been thinking about this for a while. First of all, I was against it, but the more I think about it, free to play and then you're able to buy packs, say, it makes sense. It's how a sort of business like this should work, surely. Just having like $5 now or £5 just to buy the game. You're not going to last on that when your player base isn't expanding that much. If you're going to be releasing content for years to come, surely you want people to be who have already got the game to be putting more money into it. And Shards is not going to cut it. I mean, Shards you can buy a card now and again and enter Judgment, but it's not going to really work. So I would go free to play, give the option to buy packs, and sure, you say, oh, it's pay to win all of a sudden. Yeah, well, so what? You still need to play the game. You can still play the game as itself and collect things quite quickly, I think. We still have a black market, we still have trading, so you can still do things rather quickly. But it'd just be a way of giving them money, and people who don't have time to collect all the things can, get straight into the game and start playing. It was one of the reasons that Total Biscuit stopped playing, and he prefers Hearthstone, because he can't put as much time as he'd like to play the game, collect all the cards, and so he stopped playing. And that's one of the reasons why games that is pretty rubbish, like Hearthstone. I mean, that's probably a bad way of phrasing it. The game is good. It's fun. I enjoy playing it. But as a CCG, or not, it's not even collectible, as a card game, that could be competitive. It's really awful. Half the cards are random. One of the, what are they, characters or, avatars, whatever they're called. Things, you've got like Druid and Shaman. Shaman, one of their abilities involves RNG. That's stupid. One of the new cards that was released in the Blackrock expansion destroys a card if it's depending on its rarity. I mean, that is awful card design. Whoever came with that needs to be shot because of his rarity. That is silly. And you see games decided not by skill but by stupid luck, and you can't take it seriously. I mean, there are lots of top players who will keep winning, yes, but it does seem to be a lot of cards that involve luck, and that's not a factor you really want in a game that's to be taken seriously. And the only reason it's considered fun is because it's simple. It's basic, easy to understand. The interface is quite clean. You can put money into it and just buy the cards like that. It works across all platforms now. It's been advertised a lot. They bring out content very fast. I mean, you got a game like Scrolls, which is a vastly better card game, much more strategic, much more pleasing on the eye. You got animated cards. We take that for granted now. We've got cards which are animated and attack and stuff. I mean, look, if I click on this, look, it moves and it attacks. You don't get that in any other game. You just get boring old playing cards staying on the field. And that is something we take for granted. And that takes a lot of time, I guess, which is why the team needs to be increased. So yeah, Scrolls is a much better game, but because development is so slow, because the player base is so low, you just don't get the sort of commitment and excitement anymore. I mean, the reason why the player base is low, ironically enough, is because the player base is low. People keep believing there's not enough players, which, if you keep following that trend, it's only going to go down, isn't it? We had people who were complaining when we had 1,000 people online saying the player base is too low. They drop off, then people who have got a lower threshold may leave, and so on. It's just going to be a continuous, thing. So, yeah, unless Mojang get back together and start advertising the game, which they don't really want to do until the iPad's released, iPad version, I don't see that happening anytime soon. It's not going to go anywhere. I mean, if I were them, I would just give up on iPad and start concentrating on what's going on right now, which is all this. Anyway, yeah, that's that. Judgment. Now that was changed recently. I don't know. Building deck. What are we doing? I don't know what's going on. Did I actually do one of these? I don't remember. Looks like I did. I'll just click through it. There have been a few judgment changes. No longer is it like it is on the live server. Now you can just sack the wild when you like. Which, although could be fun, I think now introduces less skill. There's also now only 35 picks instead of 45. Now, people were saying it takes more skill. You've got to think about more combinations. You've got to actually think about your picks. Now, yes, if before when you were drafting you only solely picked one resource and didn't think about anything else, yes, it will take you more skill because you've now got to think. For those of us that were drafting how Judgment wants to be drafted before, I think that's fair to say, where we would consider what's going on down here and what comes up. So I'd pick Winged Cleaver here, but then if I saw a Kinfolk Veteran come up, I might think, oh, I'm going to go Sister of a Bear, and then look to pick the Kinfolk Veteran down there. Sorry, we'd be open to changing our picks. Whereas before, people would say, right, mono resource is best. Wings Cleaver's the pick. We're going to go Wings Cleaver, favoured, Range of Veil, so on. I've seen a lot of people draft that way, and I don't like it. But you could get away with it because mono resource decks are more consistent because wild doesn't really work. So yeah, I mean, if I was to do this now, I would probably go Weapons Ranger, Sister of a Bear, and then think what's coming up and maybe change my mind. But here, the clear pick is a Wings Cleaver just because it's the best card on the row. Then, if I was picking before, I think, oh, maybe I would go, I've got Unground here, I'll probably stick with that actually. But I might decide to go Energy because I've got a bit of a decision here. But no, we've got all this, we just pick the best card, which is probably Sister Bear. I might look to change my mind. These are poor choices coming up to actually demonstrate this, but I just pick the best card. So, best card in here, what would be that? And then this, and then what? Maybe Revenant. That's probably best. That's probably best. I don't know. Maybe it's just that. Yeah. This is taking a lot of skill. Picking the best card on the row. Don't know what it actually does. So on. It's just like, oh god, whatever. Whereas before, if something like Energy Siphon came up and you're in Decay, you think, oh, maybe I can now go into Energy, especially if something like, say, the Forge came up. Say you're drafting Decay, you see the Energy Siphon, you think, all right, I might have to go Forge. Then I've got the Slaver Siege down here, that might be quite nice. Whereas now you can just go, oh, right, yeah, okay, well, we'll take the Champion Ring, we'll take the Forge, let's take Slaver Siege, yeah, I'm just safe, I can pick whatever I like, whatever. So, I don't really like that. And now they're staggering the idle health as well, which is weird. They did that to try and test a more sort of aggressive, make the timer go down, which, I hate as well. I think keep them all the same. With regards to idle health, what I might try and do is maybe have, you've got to do, instead of destroy 3 idols, you've got to do a total of 30 damage. So, let's say, this is off into a quick game here. If it wants to appear, please. Thank you, please. Thank you. There you go. So you've got to do 30 damage to your opponent's idol. So the skill would be that you can take out idols, but then you've got to target others to do 30 damage. So you could have like, I don't know, just like your avatar down here. And you could be taking damage or eroding away. I don't know. I just think that would quicken games up. That'd be one solution. Instead of having like 6, 8, 10 or whatever it is now. I hate that. I really do. As regards to Wild, I really hate Wild. When was it introduced? Like last January, I think? Maybe even before that. It was a while back now. It's really just made the game awful. That was really when it started going downhill. Yeah. it introduced horrible mechanics like taxing, which, I could just say so many things about why that's a bad idea. Cards are meant to cost things for a reason. Something like Quake. It costed 6 growth, it dealt 3 damage to structures, 2 damage to creatures. If that wasn't the right cost for it, then increase it to 7 growth. Don't give it taxing so every single time you play it the cost goes up. Things are meant to cost things for a reason. You're not meant to get punished for ramping up and then being able to play, say, 2 in a turn. You get rewarded for doing the sacking in the first place. So you have the option of doing that. Not so you can, play the card again just because it now costs 11. Quake isn't worth 11. Why would you bloody play that? It's a stupid decision. Now, the only reason why it's doing that is because with Wild and Ramp Scrolls, you can do that. You can start drawing cards, blowing things up. Now, it may sound a bit, guilty here because, I came with a Go Draw, which, epitomised ramping and drawing and blowing things up. But so what? The option was there. It still is. And it shouldn't be. So I would remove Wild. I would remove Ramp Scrolls. I would go to the sort of similar thing as Magic the Gathering has, which is, you have colourless options. So Honourable General, you can make it cost, say, 3 order and 3 of something else. So you wouldn't have Wild, you just have, like, say you're playing an Order and Decay deck. You could play 3 Order and 3 Decay to play your Honourable General. And I think that might be nicer. You might have to recost lots of things. But, I think it's the best way. I mean, you could show it by... Oh, I'm going to get rid of this rubbish. You could show it by maybe having, just a simple way, maybe just stars along here. So you have 3 stars, which would mean it's level 3. I don't know what that would mean. But that means you have to pay 3 Order and 3 of anything else. Likewise, you can make Redovis cost 4 stars, so you have to pay 4 Order. Or Pother, cost 1. 1 star, so you can pay 1 Order and 1 something else. And that would introduce and let you play multi-resource decks as you want. You want to build a deck like... Let's see if I can build the ideal multi-resource deck. I mean, it would be something like... Let's look at Growth and Decay. Go away deck builder thing. I've built like 4,000 decks. I know what to do. Say 2 drops. You want to play, say, an aggressive deck. I don't know. You go with Tribesman and Kinfet Brave. You could have Kinfet Brave costing 2 growth, so you'd have to pay 2 growth, so you have 2 stars. Tribesman could be 1 star, so it could be 1 decay. You can also pay growth. And we move into 3 costs. Say System Fox could be 1 star. Breaker could be 1 growth. Brain Lies could be 2 stars. I was going to keep saying stars now, it's easier. Earthworm Mystic could be 2 stars. Harvester could be 3 stars. Rot Eater could be 2. AD obviously having its ability changed, but so on. And then you could remove things like Return to Nature and bloody Ramp Scrolls, and this is what makes the game less fun. I think the real flaw is the fact that you can sack the scrolls. I mean, you just got free card draw right there, so you don't get punished so much because I can just sack the scrolls and play from there. And that, in addition to the ramping and drawing in things like Versatile Sword themselves and Return to Nature, to have to recruit, all that sort of thing, it just leads to that sort of mechanic. And that's not the sort of deck we want building multi-resource decks. We want a 2-colored deck which, looks like this sort of thing. I mean, I tried it with a Decay Order deck. I built the main sort of Decay deck. I don't know if I have it saved. Let's go with this. This is my Tasman Order deck. It's quite good actually. But I had I think it was 2 Necrogeddons here. I had 2 Witch Doctors here. Then I had like Oblivion Seekers, so they were the Life Stealers, and so on. And that's the sort of deck you want to build. A sort of nice temporary just deck which you can play through. I mean, I think another rule would be you can only sack scrolls for the resource that they're in, so you can only sack Kabonk for Order, you can only sack Oblivion Seeker for Decay, and so on. So that would be my solution to this sort of thing. Then you can also have colourless cards. You can move stupid things into, I don't know, a colourless faction, which means you can play whatever you like. So Return to Nature can be moved into colours, given a different ability, and life's good. So like Invocation Century or Unbind, just things like that. Keep it simple. So yeah, I don't know if that covers everything. What else is going on? Have I remembered everything? I think I probably have. Player base right now, pretty low. Yeah, I mean, I was on earlier, less than 100 people. Sad to see. So, what I'm asking for Mojang is give me some hope. We'll see the player base increase when Echoes is released. It needs to be stabilised, otherwise, it might come to the end, and we don't want that to happen. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening to me rant on. Hope it wasn't too boring. If I miss any points, I might do a follow-up video. I don't know. If you have any points, I might just do a follow-up video. Any comments I need addressing? Anything I've missed? And yeah, we'll see what happens. So, again, thanks for listening, and hopefully I shall see you next time. So, goodbye.